They say money doesn't smell, but in the underworld, it reeks of blood, betrayal, and fear. For decades, the Mafia ruled the streets. But what if I told you the real power wasn't in the back alleys or the smoky bars, but inside the banks? What if the same institutions that claim to protect your savings were the ones helping mobsters hide their millions? Tonight, we open the vaults of the world's biggest financial scandals and reveal how the banks help the mob get rich. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll start to wonder if organized crime ever really left. And don't forget to subscribe. The truth gets darker from here. It started with a handshake, not in a back room, but in a boardroom. The year was 1973. The American Mafia had already transformed from neighborhood gangs into billion-dollar enterprises. They controlled construction, waste management, ports, and unions. But there was one problem they couldn't solve with guns: how to move the money. Hundreds of millions in untraceable cash, dirty money that needed to look clean. Enter the banks. Quiet, respected, legitimate. The perfect partners for criminals who didn't want to look like criminals anymore. Let's talk about the Banco Ambrosiano, often called the Vatican's bank. In the late 1970s and early 80s, this Italian institution became the centerpiece of a global money laundering empire. Through shell companies in Panama and Luxembourg, the bank moved hundreds of millions, much of it tied to Cosa Nostra and South American cartels. Its chairman, Roberto Calvi, was known as God's banker. In 1982, his body was found hanging beneath Blackfriars Bridge in London. Officially, suicide. Unofficially, a warning. Calvi knew too much. He had helped move mob money through the Vatican, through Swiss accounts, through British shell firms. And when the trail got too hot, the church turned his back on him. Meanwhile, across the ocean, in New York, the five families had their own golden goose, BCCI, the Bank of Credit and Commerce International. It looked like a modern international success story. In reality, it was a global laundromat, a web of offshore accounts, secret deposits, and false loans used by dictators, spies, and gangsters alike. Mobsters from the Gambino and Genovese families funneled drug profits through BCCI branches in Miami and the Cayman Islands. Money came in dirty and came out pure. Even intelligence agencies used it. The CIA, foreign governments, and the Mafia, all washing cash in the same system. When BCCI finally collapsed in 1991, billions were missing. No one went to prison. And the mob, they didn't lose a cent. But this story isn't just history. The playbook never changed, only the technology did. Today, the same methods are hidden inside digital transactions and crypto exchanges. Private banks in London, Zurich, and Hong Kong offer discretion, not questions. Wealth managers specialize in moving money through luxury art, property, and offshore foundations. And the Mafia? They've evolved. They don't wear suits with bloodstains anymore. They wear tailored Armani, walk into banks with legal teams, and call themselves consultants. Let's go deeper. When the FBI took down Operation Greenback in the 1980s, they uncovered an astonishing network. Colombian cocaine money was being deposited in small Miami banks, then transferred to Panama, then Switzerland. Each transfer added a layer of legitimacy. Within 48 hours, blood money became business income. Banks claimed they didn't know, but when a man with no job walks in with $200,000 in cash and you look away, that's not ignorance, that's partnership. In 2012, HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, was caught laundering billions for the Sinaloa cartel and Italian 'Ndrangheta. The evidence was undeniable. Emails, account records, transfers, and yet not a single executive went to jail. The bank paid a fine,
just 5 weeks of profits, and went right back to business. That's when investigators realized it's not the mafia using the banks anymore. It's the banks using the mafia's playbook. Today, London and New York are flooded with ghost money. Oligarchs, mobsters, and corrupt politicians use the same laundering techniques built decades ago by organized crime. They invest in luxury real estate, shell companies, and offshore funds. Criminal money flows through the system like veins under the city, unseen but vital. You want to find the mafia? Don't look for the man with the gun. Look for the man with the pen, sitting in a skyscraper, signing a deal that turns blood into dividends. The mob never needed to rob banks. They became them. From Al Capone's secret accounts to HSBC's digital laundering, the lesson is the same. Crime doesn't end when the shooting stops. It just changes clothes. So next time your bank offers confidential wealth management, ask yourself, whose wealth are they managing? Because in 2025, organized crime doesn't hide in the shadows. It hides behind tinted glass, corporate logos, and the illusion of respectability. If this story opened your eyes, subscribe for more investigations into the hidden world of power, corruption, and money. Because the deeper we dig, the more we realize the mob never died. It just went corporate.